New video showing the moment a masked mob attacked a police cruiser in Maryland. The incident taking place during a chaotic street takeover over the weekend as agitators blocked traffic in all directions while others performed high-speed donuts in their cars. No officers were injured, but 2 police vehicles were vandalized. Now, this comes after Maryland Governor Wes Moore touted the success of his anti-crime policies during his State of the State address earlier this month. Watch.
Homicides are down nearly 50% statewide, and we are delivering historic drops in crime in every single corner of the state. And in fact, the last time the homicide rate was this low in Baltimore, I was not born yet.
I think, Griff, what makes that contrast so stark is the visuals of seeing this footage, right? And how shocking it is that it seems that it receives little acknowledgement from those decision makers and especially the governor. Yeah, and you know, Emily, I'm from D.C. Just so we're clear, it says Montgomery, Maryland. This is actually a suburb of D.C. in Chevy Chase. That intersection, the East-West Highway and Connecticut Avenue, is just outside of D.C. proper, and it's right next to the Chevy Chase Country Club, the premier country club, one of them in Washington, D.C. And so for these teens to be able to take over that entire intersection is just appalling that law enforcement, you know, didn't do more to stop it, because we have these things fairly regularly in D.C. And by the way, why hasn't there been mass arrests already of these teens? You know, in that video we're looking, you can see one guy holding a sign that said, "Shot by Frenchie." Well, guess what? I Googled that. It's an Instagram account, and the guy has tons of videos of them doing these street blocks with cars doing donuts, highly dangerous for the public. And so I think at the end of the day, while you do have crime in D.C. and other areas going down, little has been done to get these teens under control, because that's what you've got right here, teens out of control. And that sort of dovetails into our prior conversation in a way of the role that social media plays and these apps play, because there is certainly and clearly an incentive for people to post these horrifying videos on social media, whether it be violence or you know, the on subway rides here that the kids do here that gets their heads taken off, they ride on top of the subways, you know, et cetera. And we have yet to see an immediate kill switch pull down, which those executives say that they will, because it foments the social currency to capture this online.
Yeah, and a lot of these leaders and other media networks, channels, will play sound bites of the leaders in these blue cities, and they will blame police, violent rhetoric, and then what do they expect? This is the message that's out there right now. So you have people in these communities. That is a very wealthy, nice community. There's one kid in that video that's dancing, holding up that strobe light or whatever, and dancing in front of the car. Like, if we did that when we were growing up, you knew you were getting arrested. You knew what if one of these boys out there throws, let's say, water on the police? The police don't know if it's water or if it's acid. What if they shoot the person? Then it's the police's fault. After they've been antagonizing them, they've been preventing them from moving in their cars. The police officer can't go right now because he's going to run over all those people, and he'll be blamed for it. He can't take out lives, but they can't do this to police. When we were growing up, it was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You stay quiet, you're respectful.
And they smashed the windshield, by the way.
I know.
Eventually.
Yes. Yeah, it's horrifying. And there's a thin line between, I think, first of all, there's a bright line to destruction, but a thin line between destruction and injury. That's the whole point. And we've seen elected officials say, no, use the term kid. You know, don't elevate the status of these children that are juveniles in these crimes. But the reality is we've seen as well a spike in violent crimes regardless of age, and it doesn't help anyone if you don't name it.
Yeah, and I think to that exact point, Ainsley, I mean, what a dangerous situation where you have these standoffs for hours in the middle of the night. The window shield, one of the cars, the window shield was smashed when the police officer was sitting in the car, the front and the back. So imagine you're an officer and you're sitting there and someone smashes a window shield while you're sitting in the vehicle. I mean, it's nuts. Not only that, they recovered 3 handguns from these individuals before they get to the location. Were those lawfully carried handguns? I can't imagine they were. This is very scary. And Maryland's tried to crack down on this. They put in place stricter laws. They have a task force. That task force made 61 arrests, 37 handguns obtained, 99 takeovers as of September 23, and 1 year, I believe, is what they were dealing with. So, we're covering this because it's happening more and more and more since COVID.
We've covered extensively crimes against the public, and that can be things like Jussie Smollett, right? Faking an occurrence that diverts police resources to a lie that takes it away from things that need help. That's what I see this as. Like, all of these people should be charged additionally with preventing those officers from responding to actual crimes and people in need. That intersection blocked off that prevented ambulances from getting through.
Well, I kind of treat this as illegals across the border. They're criminals.
Yeah.
I mean, you've broken our one law at the border, and maybe there's some mitigating circumstances that you'd like to present in court, and that's where the decision about penalty should come, or in that case, you get deported, and maybe you get to come back. In this case, they are criminals. I don't care how old they are. And so when you tell me that the minimum is a year, I also know that that's often mitigated by a lot of different things, and that doesn't actually happen. I think the minimums here are where we ought to start. And it ought to be really hard to get away from a minimum north of 24 months. Like, really hard. Because you potentially can take a life. And you mentioned water, right? One of you mentioned water, throwing water on something could be acid. I'm looking at the water on the screen. I mean, look at the weather that was out that night. Anybody near this scene could have been hurt. I mean, it's just mind-boggling because they're young and they don't think about consequences. And we have become a society that's convinced them that maybe they don't need to. You got to make the consequences really tough now. You want to potentially change somebody else's life forever? I say you put in 2 years for this stuff. Yeah. 2 years minimum, and you can't touch that. There are no mitigating circumstances. I guarantee you it would help.
And if someone got hurt, they would have called 911. If someone got hurt there, they would have relied on the same police that they are trashing to help them.
Excellent point. Yeah. And then you do the build with the extra
What would your parents, what would they do if they saw you on TV in front of that cop car dancing
My
and
dad was a colonel.
There would be no tomorrow.
No discussion.
That's for sure.
No
tomorrow.
You lose your rights.
Because when you look through it's a 4-minute dash cam of the police car. When you look, there's multiple cars doing 360s at a high speed. The chance that one didn't spin out of control and, God forbid, kill somebody is remarkable.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a blessing.
Thank God those officers are safe. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.